Which brings us to the point about how cheap services break. The pattern often looks like this. The first few months feel great, then replies slow down. The most experienced people disappear. One overloaded employee ends up holding the account. Then the communication stops. And in Sarah's case, she has to start over with someone new. The cheapest quote often runs out of money before it runs out of promises. So there are 5 questions that Sarah should ask before signing anything. How many clients can your team handle? Who is my backup by name? What isn't included? How do your people earn a bonus? And what happens when I'm ready to hire my own team? Those 5 answers will tell Sarah more than a beautiful deck ever will. And this brings us to the last part of the presentation. What does the change actually look like? In the first 90 days, first, Sarah and Maya agree on what matters most. Then all the files, the passwords, the brand materials, and the past work are collected in one place. The team has to write down how the company works because what matters gets measured. Publishing begins from a calendar Sarah approves. The backup person is introduced. Monthly reports begin, and strategy returns to the schedule. This is an example of how the process could work. It's not a finished client's case, but the goal is clear. By the end of a quarter, the marketing department is no longer living inside Maya's head. Who is this for? For certain companies, it's better to buy a project if you need a one-time thing. Buy a project if marketing only gets busy during one season. Buy a project if one channel is enough. And do not buy a shared department if nobody inside the company has time to approve the work. But a shared team may make sense when work goes out every week, when one employee cannot hold it all, when delays cost money, when the company needs the same level of quality every month, and when the money is already being spent across several different places. What this changes for real people is that if this works, Maya gets her job back. She stops being the person who catches everything, and she becomes a person who leads the plan. Sarah gets time back. She stops fixing marketing problems at the end of the week. The creative works get better too. The company may make fewer things, but it puts more care into the things it chooses. And most importantly, the customer may hear less noise and remember the core message. Nobody needs to replace Maya. The problem was never Maya. The problem was asking one person to be a planner, writer, producer, and backup plan all at once. So we started with a company making almost 3 times more content and reaching fewer people. The answer is not to keep making more. The answer is to bring back the things that disappeared. Clear choices, a real plan, one person responsible for the result, a record of what worked, and enough people to do the job properly. A growing company does not need to employ an entire media department, but it needs a media department it can depend on. If this sounds like your company, here's what you could do on Monday. In Sarah's case, she can start with 3 simple steps. First, she needs to add up the real marketing bill. Every salary, every benefit, every vendor, every software tool. Second, she needs to list every channel the company is trying to maintain. Then circle the 3 that truly matters. Third, ask one provider the first 5 questions from the last slide. That can all be done before lunch. Last year was the version where nothing changed. And for Sarah, she knows how that story ended. I also want to talk to people who invest in fractional companies.